Alrighty, what's up? Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. Hope you all are doing awesome. We're gonna wait just one quick minute to see if anybody else, we got any stragglers, anybody who's running a little late. But I'm really, really excited for this one because I've been sitting here literally, I find if you're anything like me, where you sit down in front of your computer and you have like, okay, I got 2 hours now, I'm at work, and the next thing you know, it's like 11 o'clock at night, and you're like, this is awesome. I'm just gonna go to sleep and not gonna go out or do anything. And then you wake up the next morning and your brain is still running and you're still trying to figure these things out. I've literally just been in this flow. And honestly, I don't want to do anything else but do that. Like it really feels awesome when you're finally able to get into a spot where things are just happening, things are moving, especially now, because how many of y'all have seen photos or posts of friends or fellow realtors that are out there literally have been checked out since the beginning of the week, or maybe since like Tuesday or Wednesday, traveling on vacation or leaving? And again, listen, I'm not hating on vacation, okay? We all work really hard. I mean, we all really spend a lot of time and energy and effort on really delivering and showing up and being there for people who rely on us. So it is really important to make the time to sit out and do take some vacation, right, and relax. But there's two different types of vacation. There's taking vacation in a sense where you just totally disconnect and then come back and wonder what the hell happened to your business. We've all been there, right? Where like you just totally leave. And then there's leaving to go to take a little bit of a break where you still have systems and processes in place and other people who are there helping you, right? And that's the type of vacation that I really think is important to have, because if we're centered and focused when we leave, and we leave with a plan, right, then when you come back, things are still happening. You still have things, there's still deals coming together. And in talking to some people yesterday, the day before, I have this phone list that I go through of people. I call it my top 100. We're gonna jump into those next week, but I have a list of people that I write down of names, phone numbers, emails, and professions of people that are in my area that I want to connect with, that are either at a similar production level to myself or doing better than me when it comes to whatever they're doing. So not necessarily real estate agents, but maybe the mayor of the city, maybe the director of this at this school that I want to, maybe start farming a little bit more. Maybe the uh, in Surfside where I lived last, it was the person who was responsible for parking tickets and getting them dismissed. Because over there it's like a little resort type town, and there's basically everywhere is parking tickets and is parking meters. And I mean, if you're a real estate agent like me who's just running in for 5 minutes and uses the hazards as the be back in five, then you do get a lot of parking tickets sometimes. So going through this list of all these people, I make it a point every single week on Friday to reach out to at least five of those people. I like the number five because it's an odd number. It's impossible to split it. And we usually avoid things that come in groups. So the number five forces me to systematically go through these things. That's also why I use the number three, the number five, the number seven. I like these things because it kind of just breaks the pattern of things that we're used to, right? We're all used to groups and couples and twos and and even numbers because it's just easier for us to process. So by taking something odd, it forces you to square it out. And I've never lost from splitting two corners because I've always ended up with two pieces, right? So going around that little angle which most people avoid, right? And or sometimes even cutting right through it, it led me to the conversation that I had yesterday where I was calling somebody from that list and I haven't spoken to them in a minute. So we're talking and I'm catching up with them. They're like, hey, I really started getting involved into real estate trust funds. Like, people who have families that have old money, and the money's been moving from place to place to place. And he just got a degree in finance. And, when you get a degree in finance, you're able to go after those people and say, hey, I just got this degree. I think I know how to manage your money. So he walked in to this group of properties that was built by they had given a loan to a builder, and the builder didn't really know what they were doing, right? Because it's like, here it's really, really south in Miami, you don't really have that much space even for new construction. But this builder had sold them on some sort of idea, and long story short, they have to liquidate. So calling him yesterday, right, they just got off their end of Q4 meeting on Thursday, which was before everybody had left on vacation. He's already in Mexico hanging out, excited for New Year's and everything. But I called him, and calls are free in Mexico, so he picked it up because I was saved in his contacts. How was I saved in his contacts? Cute little thing that I do. It's called Popl, Popl. I don't get any referral credit or anything for it, but It's my favorite thing because every phone that I have 3 cell phones. Every single phone has this circle on the back of it. Once upon a time when I got it, it was black. But it's basically an NFC chip. And the NFC chip is pre-programmed with my mobile digital business card. Now, I know what you guys are saying. Joe, we have Blink. Joe, we have this. Guess what, guys? None of them have an NFC chip on the back of it. Okay. And the NFC chip is different because every single person that I talk to, they go, oh, yeah, I know how it works. And they proceed to open their camera and they're going to scan it. I'm like, no, 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 no. Just tap your phone to the top of tap the top of your phone to the circle. And they go, what? And then all of a sudden, again, what are we looking for? Pattern interrupt, right? I caught their attention because the same way that when I snapped, right, it leaves a little anchor in my brain for something, right? It's the same thing. They now came out of their whole little frame of what they were doing. And yeah, I'm this, I know. And I was like, whoa, okay, Joe, you just showed me something. Sometimes they even go, hey, where'd you get that? How much does it cost? Right? And that's the reason why I don't even want it to be something that I refer to people or connect to people, because I want it to stay wholesome. I want it to be one of those things, which is like, oh, whoa, yo, Joe showed me that. I got to get one, right? Because then when they get it, what do? They hit me up because there's a lot of features inside the app that you can use that some people don't know. And then it's like, hey, what'd you use it for? Or where was the last place you used it? Right. And then we can talk about how there was a certain point where I was trying to pop 200 pops every week, right? Trying to connect with people to build my CRM and database. And that helped me connect with some people. One of those realtors actually joined my team for a brief little minute. So what I'm getting at is that pattern interrupts are the things that we're going to be working on here. Okay. And when I say pattern interrupt, it can be things like sitting on TikTok at 8 o'clock from 8 to 11, right? And then waking up at 7:55, right before kids got to go to school or whatever. Doing things that we're doing already that we've fallen into habit of, because most of y'all have been licensed and most of y'all have more life experience than myself. Okay. Just put it all on the table. I've been licensed for 3 years. Okay. I'm in my fourth year right now, licensed as of November of 2020, election day, last election day. So that was that. I am 27 years old, just turned 27 now here in December 2nd. And we have this little mega icon team down here in Florida. In total, there's 19 people on the team between 3 states. So we're in New York, New Jersey, and we're also here in South Florida. I have a goal of expanding to 7 more states by the end of Q1 of next year. And the reason for that is because I've noticed and realized that a lot of people, they're doing real estate the 1980s, 1990s way. A lot of the people that are out there that are selling, coaching, and trading and stuff haven't sold a house in basically pretty much maybe just as long as I've been alive on this earth. But they have some sort of system or something that they've done way back in the past that's never been updated. So the goal for myself, right, originally started here in South Florida, was to try to change those situations when, a broker turns around and tells me that, hey, this is a document that you fill out that has nothing to, like a commercial document that has to do with a residential contract, or here in Florida, we have something called a FARBAR contract. It's a contract that's been approved by the state that we just fill it in. Most states, the contracts are just fillables if you're a title company state, right? So we're able to fill it in. Now, each one of these documents have subsequent documents that attach to them as needed, addendums, riders, things like that. Now, if a broker is going to tell me that for the last 20 years that they've been licensed, they've been using a commercial rider to a contract for a residential contract, I don't care what they're telling me, there's a problem here. Because yes, a title company may have taken the document and said, you know what, it's still an addendum, it still works. But the reference in the contract, it's imagine writing Exhibit A or Schedule A in a contract, and then the Schedule A is actually Schedule B. It's like it doesn't match. And I realized that in our business, there are a lot of people who are just set in doing their ways. Not because they're bad people, but just because, hey, that's the whole nature of repetition, the nature of habit, right? This is some of the people that are on this call right now have been doing this for 20 plus years. Okay, and they've seen it all. But every day something new comes up and it's like, wow, that's crazy, right? So the first thing that I wanted to discuss here now on, give me 1 second. Todd Bailey messaged me that he is on a different Zoom call. Regular. There we go. He's already here before me. Before I even sent that to him. By the way, if you guys have the opportunity to do this, go to GoDaddy.com and look at Zoom with. Okay, Zoom with Natalie, Zoom with Megan, Zoom with Jen, Zoom with Lewis, Zoom with Chris. Well, there's a couple Chris's in the challenge, so whoever can get it first gets it first. It's like $10, right? And you can literally take your Zoom room, your personal Zoom room, and turn it into a website. And I think it's really cool because this, by the way, over here, if ever you don't have a link to the call, the link is always going to be zoomwithjoe.info. Super, super easy way to get into my Zoom room, right? And obviously that's why we have the waiting room, and that's why some meetings will be password protected, because having like a reference like that makes it very easy for anybody to remember, right? So if you can do that now for yourself, I'd recommend you pull it up, GoDaddy.com, and try to see if you can pick that up for yourself. Because any variation of that is really cool. And again, it leaves a little bit of impression in people's minds. Huh, wow, that's unique, right? And it leaves people remembering something about you. Now, there were a couple of things that I wanted to go through just to remember and to remind yourself throughout this challenge. There are going to be days where you're going to get off the call and you're going to feel overwhelmed. That's fact. It's just how it's going to be. Okay. So, like that being said, I want to encourage you that no matter what it is that you're struggling, nervous, overwhelmed with, please take a minute, okay, and email me. Take a minute and send me a voice message. Take a minute and text me. Because I guarantee you that if you you watch the replay one or two more times, maybe even on 1.5 speed, replay speed, you'll be able to pick up the concept again. Every single thing is going to be there. What up, Todd? Good to see you. We stopped here a second to message you because I didn't see you here. And then I realized that you messaged me and you probably popped into a different Zoom link. And that's actually what prompted me to mention the zoomwithjoe.info Zoom room. Because if you have the opportunity to buy a domain that has Zoom with your name on it, it's a phenomenal pattern interrupt. And man, I should have just bought all those domains and then said, hey guys, available for resale. But either way, that being said, when you do get overwhelmed, there's a process that I run through that helps me calm down. Okay. And just like I had mentioned before, I love the number 3, and it's 3 things that I go through to write down to try to see what I can figure out. Number 1, what am I overwhelmed about? What is it that's making me feel nervous? Is it the task? Is it the amount of things I have to do? Is it not having clarity in what I need to do? Is it maybe feeling a little bit down because the last couple of things that I tried to do didn't work out? Once I know what it is that I'm feeling overwhelmed with, then I'm looking, for the last way that I did something. So I want to go back and pull a point of reference for something that, why is this making me feel overwhelmed? Because if I know that it's making me feel overwhelmed because I don't know what I'm doing, and I know that last time I tried to do something that I don't know what I'm doing, I messed it up, then I have my solution figured out for me right away. The third thing I got to go do is figure it out. And that's why I make sure that everything is recorded and we get all the replays, because I'm never going to drop something that will be like too much to handle that won't have a follow-up to it. So there may be a day in the morning where I'll get in here and say, guys, listen, this is how we build Facebook groups. Okay. And then I'll go and build out a Facebook group, and then I'll give you a reference sheet to go and do. And then I'll say, by the way, later on today at 4:30 p.m., we're going to have an hour phone call that will show you how to do Facebook groups start to finish. Now, I understand that many of y'all have schedules, and as we get busier, which is what's going to happen, you're not going to be available at 4:00 p.m. to sit down on an hour Zoom. And I agree with you. Why then am I going to record everything like that at 7 p.m. or 6 p.m. when you get home, right? Or you're in the office and you're just writing a contract? You can sit in the background, just listen to it, right? I always make sure to share my screen. I always make sure to apply and give everything that I'm talking about, because there is no further link to buy now or subscribe to this course or $297 here or $597 here. I'm not looking to make money off of this. I'm just looking to be able to ground myself to a point where I say, listen, there's a bunch of people who threw down serious deposits of real money to like now go and have me slow down what I'm doing to share with them, because ultimately the goal here is that we're going to build a really solid relationship, whether it's a referral relationship, whether it's a personal relationship, whether it's just giving you the opportunity to get out there and say, hey, what up, everybody? My name is Chad and I am the mayor of your town, right? Literally by being able to not even have to say that. But whenever you send an email, the average email that I send out has a 70% open rate, not for these challenges, but for real estate. When I send out market updates, when I send out different announcements about our team, different deals that I have a deal for $5.5 million that I got from Dialing and expired. And that deal has been seen by over 1,100 people that I've tracked. So when I go to an owner and I say, listen, buddy, 1,100 investors who are qualified have seen your deal, and everybody's offering you between 4 and 4.25, it's not me. It's not me. I promise. And I'm never one to shirk responsibility, right? But it's not me. And here's the data to show you. But how do you get in front of those 1,100 people? How do you have 1,100 qualified investors send you proof of funds or pre-approvals or some sort of bank contact or connection to vouch for who they are? Because that's a big ass list. Like that's a lot of people. Even if I built a team and added 10 more people here, there is no way we'd be able to service everybody in one go year. It's just not going to happen. So the way that I built it out for the very first time, and this is something also that we're going to go through on the challenge, guys, anything that you're like, you think that's it's a really cool idea that I'm bringing up, don't stress because I'm going to at a certain point be covering these ideas throughout the challenge. But the goal is to do it in sequence. Because if today we're going to do, let's say, update our Facebook profile, and then tomorrow we're going to go plan for an event, and then the day after that we're going to build an email list, then we're not doing things in the right order, right? If we first go and build out our profile, then we build our connections on Facebook, then we collect names, phone numbers, and emails, then we build a mailing list, then after we build a mailing list, we build out an automated mailing list, then after we build out an automated mailing list, we run ads to get more people to join the mailing list. Then once we have a mailing list, then we turn around and say, guys, I'm doing this online. And then you hit your emails, your text message video groups that you're going to create on day 3, your Facebooks, and your Facebook ads. Now you have 4 times the amount of opportunity that you're getting in front of at the same time for the same cost and the same mental effort than if you were running around to all those different places. And as I'm saying that, some of y'all may be like, I see some light bulbs turning on. Y'all are like, whoa, okay, that makes sense. Right? I've been trying to build my mailing list. I've been trying to build my Facebook. I've been trying to build my text DM list. I've been trying to, build all these hot sheet lists, and I'm trying to figure out how to do all of it. Well, this is where we're going to sit down here real quick, and we're just going to make sure that the goal sheet that every single one of us have filled out, everybody here has a goal sheet, right? Everybody knows exactly what they're planning on taking down this year. Is that true, or is that not true? Is there anybody here who doesn't have clear goals defined yet that can break them down into numbers and know exactly how to take action on them? And it's okay if you don't, because if you don't, let me know here in the chat and we'll help you through it. I'm never going to call anybody out, like at least not in a way where I'm trying to like make them feel like they're being called out. But we will put people in the hot seat here, and that's okay. Again, remember, this is a safe space for accountability, right? So we're never going to put anybody on blast for the sake of putting them on blast. So Jamie needs help building out her plan. That's totally cool. Thank you for letting me know. After this call, I'm going to send you a copy of the Glover U Goal Builder. The reason I'm going to send it to you from a different coaching organization is not to get you involved with them and have you, sign up for all their stuff, which by the way, you should. They're awesome. They help me Forex my business. But at the same time, the reason why I do that is because they've already figured out the system. They've already figured out the structure to make it work. Right. So one of the things that I did when I started building partnerships with other real estate agents is by telling them, listen, I have exposure to a lot of people, and a lot of people are sometimes going to need help the same way that you guys helped me. Right. So is it cool if I go and share that stuff, which, I got like a free PDF download. I think now they're charging like $100 or whatever for the replay. So obviously I'm not going to make you spend that. We'll get you the free one. And that's because, I coach with them. So I told them, I said, look, I'm going to share your resources with other people because technically I'm a team leader. And technically, like, the reason I'm paying you for your coaching is to show me how to be better, which means that I'm going to share all the stuff with my team. Right now, the word team recently has been kind of messed up with and made me a little feel uncomfortable, because many people think that the word team means I have to make money off of you. Okay. Many people think that the word team means that you have to wear the same colors I do, be part of the same brokerage, follow the same schedule I do, eat the same food I do, pray to the same God that I pray. But the reality is that the word team, if you look it up in the dictionary, now I'm not the most educated, so I'm going to take a guess here, and I don't have a high school diploma, but I'll take a guess here and I'll say that the word team means a collaborative effort, a group of people who all align with the same mindset that want to take the same collaborative action together. Chad, do me a favor, Google that real quick. Let me know what you think. But that's what I think the word team means to me, at least, right? And because to me, thank you, Annie, I appreciate that. The description here is, I'm not trying to put labels on anything, but if you really are going to force me to call a team is a group of people that we all come together again with the same mindset, same alignment, with the intent of achieving or accomplishing the same goal together. That being said, I don't care what brokerage you're from. Is that what it is? That's what's up. That's awesome. Well, that's the books that I read, man. I get a lot of education from reading other people's books. This past year, I posted a little while back. I was in the 70s. I think I'm going to finish this year with 81 books read. Patrick Bet-David's book, Choose Your Enemies Wisely, being the last one, my favorite book of all time. This dude is brilliant. And I feel like being able to plug into other people's knowledge and life experience, it gives me an opportunity to shortcut a little bit. right? Because now I'm able to learn from other people. And when we're on a team and we're openly sharing, it's called Choose Your Enemies Wisely. It's available on Audible as well. Most of my books I've listened to on Audible. I don't have the best attention span, but if I put an AirPod in my ear and I play it, I listen to it. And um, that being said, right, I feel like when we're able to rely more on the people that want to support us versus focusing on the people that don't, or versus focusing, like, when I joined my brokerage, right, originally there were a lot of things that I was anticipating that over the course of time, I realized either number one, they're not applicable to me, right? So even though they look really cool and even though they're really fun and awesome, they're not really things that I need to apply in my day-to-day life. Or some of them are excessive, which means they take away from my time for things that I'm already doing, right? And if you're anything like me, I really only benefit and appreciate people in my life in general that contribute to my life, don't make problems out of things that I already do as fact, right? So if someone now is going to walk into my life and not going to like the way that I do things on my team, even the way that I do things in my personal life, then it's like, hey, thanks for stopping by, but you want a limo and some fries on the way out? Like, we got you, right? Like see ya. And that being said, taking this definition of team, understand that we're all here to help each other. Okay. Some of the people that are on this call right now have been in business for 10, 15, 20 plus years. And also, some of the people that are on this call right now have also gone through the challenge at the very minimum once. Some of the people on this call are also part of my support staff and my team's out of state, right? So, what I'm basically saying is that those of y'all who've already signed into the challenge, you've gotten the prompt to join into the group. That'll be approved later on today, and then that group will start actually taking shape. I really hate building Facebook groups and then everybody joins them and then nobody does anything for 3 or 4 days, and then you wonder what it is. So I like that as soon as I have one, I put it together and we get rolling. So everyone's there. And the members of the last challenge are also going to be added into that group later on today, like that we can all be here together and grow. Now, the goal of what we're going to be doing together, right, is obviously we're going to be taking our business from 0 to 90 as fast as possible, right? And when I say as fast as possible, I don't just mean to be able to do it once. I mean that when we sign off at the end of this challenge, we're all going to have the tools, systems, and processes in place to be able to continue doing things again and again, right? Because the goal of this is to give it to you in a very simple spot to where all you have to do is remember what it is that we did, and it's just taking the action again and again. It's not having to build anything new, right? Because you're going to have all those systems already in place. The biggest thing that I found when I went to go analyze all these number one teams that all became number one teams, both from my brokerage and other brokerages, was that in the year 2020, when everybody sold thousands of houses for the first time and made millions of dollars for the first time, literally houses and everything everywhere, no one had any idea what the hell was happening, right? But there was just so much money. I realized that most of those teams had no idea how they became number one. They couldn't point me to one particular source as to what they did again and again and again to make them number one. It was a mix of door knocking and Zillow and mailers and Facebook ads and YouTube videos and reels and open houses, and did I say open houses, and lender referrals and Zillow and homes.com and all this other crap. But nobody was able to tell me, hey, listen, this is where we got 114 closings. This is where we got 97 closings. This is where we got 84. That was the year 2020. The year 2021, very similar. The year 2022, everyone looked back on the stats sheet and they're like, yo, what the hell happened? How do we go from number one to number 114? How do we go from number 8 to number 80? How do we go from number 7 to number 74? And that's when, I would say some people who have been in business a little longer than myself stepped up and said, back in the 90s, this is what we did. Back in the early 2000s, this is what we did. And got a whole bunch of people on board with it, right? But then what ends up happening is as people were spending more money to try to figure out how to get more leads and how to get more business, their Cadillac payment came due, and their G-Wagon payment came due, and then their motorcycle payment came due, and then their boat house and their boat and everything else started coming due. And then they started realizing, holy crap, before I even wake up on the first, I'm spending 30 grand in overhead. And that's before you think about real estate. So what happened was a lot of people started scaling down. A lot of people started leaving this business. A lot of people started, just, hey, yeah, I used to sell real estate, but now I'm in real estate development. We do contracting now. And, our contracting business was so good that, we just had to scale in contracting, man. I mean, I'm telling you, we sold thousands of houses, but right now it's where it's at. It's contracting, or the people who are in cash advance. Y'all know those people, right? They're always doing something new every 3 or 4 years because they're always just chasing the new hype. They're riding that high. Ladies and gentlemen, talking to more and more of these number one team leaders, I realized that real estate is a shitty business to be in. Okay. And everyone's like, what? Okay, yeah, by the way, I apologize. I normally don't swear. Okay. We have a lot of people from all over the country, not as many people from Florida where we have a lot of sailor talk. But I noticed that, believe it or not, people in Texas are usually the first to take it personal, which is something that I've learned. And then, and like I went a couple of times to, I spoke in a couple places in Waco and in Dallas and in Rockwall, over the last 2 years. And as soon as I dropped one of those, I realized the whole crowd just kind of like tightened up. And I was like, yo, 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 my bad, my bad. It slips out every now and then. We have a pretty small swear jar here in my office. And I do put coins in the jar. Every joint represents a dollar. Every coin represents $1. And at the end of the year, it goes towards, our donations and whatever. But I do swear sometimes, not always. Okay, so just give me a little bit of grace. Usually when I do let one fly, it's just because it's my brain talking to the animalistic side of me. See, and this was the explanation that I gave, was that sometimes the animal inside of me only understands one type of language. And I don't usually talk to him in public because it gets kind of weird sometimes. But when I do, it's because I'm in a real moment, right? And what I'm saying is that, like, a lot of people, the way that they were running their business, and again, just bear with me, okay? I do always also sometimes understand that early in the morning and later in the afternoon, there's kids around in the house, right? So I'm not trying to like be that super macho guy of like, hey, my way or the highway. I'm really just trying to adapt, but it's still a process. I used to literally swear every third word, and now it's every 30th or 40th word. So we're getting somewhere. And that being said, that's another thing for me that I realized that a lot of team leaders, the first thing they have to do is take accountability. They have to own certain things, right? And accountability for me was something that was very hard in the beginning because, dude, why am I in this business? I'm in this business because I suck at accountability. I don't want to have to answer to anybody. Matter of fact, I'm in this business because I probably wouldn't make it selling for anybody else or doing any sort of business or sales working for somebody else. I hate working for other people. I hate being accountable to other people. So why am I here? Well, the fluffy video side of me, if I want to sit and talk and sound front, all put together in front of clients, would be, well, I got in this business because I want to serve people and I want to help people and I love people and I want to help people. Yeah, I do. But you know what? Sometimes I hate people. At like 9 o'clock at night, when like a seller calls me and says, Joe, I think we're not really sure if we want to do this or not. And I'm like, you know what? I'll talk to you in the morning, and I want to throw my phone at the wall. Right? Like sometimes I just don't like people. So I can sit here and I can be one way, right? Or I can keep it real and I can give myself the opportunity to say, you know what, yes, there's a massive opportunity here because yes, I can help people, but at the same time, I'm also here to make money. I'm here to run a business. And this is where a lot of us struggle, especially those of us who were brought up in very deeply religious houses. Okay. Now I'm talking here for personal experience. Like I grew up like Jewish. I grew up, hardcore Hasidic, like religious, the thingies and the white shirt and the black hat and the stuff you see in the movies, in Brooklyn, New York. And it's actually one of the reasons why, ironically, I'm doing this on a Saturday. I shouldn't be doing this on a Saturday, right? But I'm doing this on a Saturday to talk to my younger self and to reprogram certain things about me, right? Like there's a lot of things that I grew up with that I just like. One of those things we're talking about here is like struggling in business, struggling to make money, right? There's a lot of things that in the Bible it says that those who struggle, win, and the people who, go through all of those things and are the people who go through the trials and are the people who go through the tests are ultimately the people who get, all of the gifts of the world to come and all those other things. And you know what? I think it's beautiful, but I want to have the gifts here in this world because I don't know what's happening in the next world. I've never been there. No one who's ever been there has ever came back and shared with me any real personal, real life experiences. And as beautiful as it says in the books, I refuse to allow my future to endure the future, to endure the past that my past endured. I refuse. I will not let that happen. And I see it as a personal responsibility for me to step up and for me to flip certain things on their head and say, you know what, I can respect, love, and appreciate where you're coming from, but this ain't for me. And the first thing that you're going to see is that a lot of people are going to step up and a lot of people are going to say, certain things, especially, those who are, in scripture type communities, I would call it, right? People will quote things, people will say things, people will be disrespectful towards you. But sometimes what we have to remember is that they're not trying to disrespect you. They're standing up for what they think is right. And they're doing what they think is correct. And sometimes, when I was in Israel, there are certain cities that you'd walk through, certain little towns that you walk through, that if they see a soldier in uniform, they will try to kill you. They will try to stone you. And these aren't Arab villages. These are real Jewish communities. And you ask yourself, yo, what's up? Like literally, I'm here putting my life on the line for these people and they want to kill me. Why am I doing this? And sometimes you have to realize that unfortunately or fortunately in this world, given the fact that as human beings, we all have something a little different than what other animals and other creatures have. We have the ability to verbalize our thoughts and share our words with other people, right? Some people, they haven't been able to, I'm going to use a very big triggering word for Jewish rabbis, but some people haven't been able to evolve. And some people haven't been able to move forward, with the learning how to properly express and share those things. And all they have to do is to go back to that primal state that they have, which is to swear, to curse, to threaten, to belittle, to do all these negative things. Because as cavemen, there was really two ways for us to think. It was either we're going to, fight, or we're going to flight. We're going to run away. But some people don't realize that the beautiful part about today's day and age is that in between that fight or flight, there's this little circle. It's called thrive. People forget about that. In between all the chaos and inside everything that's going on, if you choose to find that perfect balance middle, all of us have been to real estate conferences where we've seen those three graphics, those three circles kind of, mixed together. And whoever the presenter is, they change the words depending on whatever topic it is that they're talking about. But those three circles, right, are really the reality where we have to choose that little middle ground. And sometimes I'm telling you, as someone who's loud and boisterous and disrespectful, it's not easy. Okay. It's not easy. The word that I found was uncouth, right? Uncultured, very not like properly. That was a big word for me. I've been practicing pronouncing that. I used it in my last book. I was very proud. But like one of those, it's very hard to, look at other people and other things and other cultures and try to fit in. And that's okay. Why are we trying to fit in, ladies and gentlemen? Who cares? At the end of the day, your bills are paid. Your bank account has 1 or 2 or 3 commas in it. Your vacation and family travel is taken care of. Your kids have little school funds set up, right? Your insurance bills are all paid. Everything's taken care of. Nothing in collections. 800 plus credit score. Rolex on your wrist. Driving whatever you want. I mean, that's what's up. That's the game. So if that's the way that we want to play, we can't get stuck in the way that other people who've already made peace with whatever their life is or is going to be get in our way. It's not possible. And that's why it's so important to have goals written down on paper, and why it's so important to have things put together in a way where just when you feel like quitting and giving up and throwing your phone at the wall, you have another paper on the wall, right? That has all of the things written out. I made a video a little while back that I shared about how to make a vision board, right? And some people laugh and they say, yo, vision boards are so silly. You're literally cutting photos out of magazines and printing things off Google. But you know what? As of yesterday, every single thing that was on my vision board was checked off. And that's something that to me was crazy, because I never thought it'd be possible, especially not being here physically in the country present for 44 days out of this year. But you know what? Over the last 3 years, I've built a system and the system followed a process. And sometimes the process was a process of elimination. It was kicking some people out of the organization. It was making space for some other things to happen amidst total chaos. I mean, I lost half of our back end team over the first 45 days that I was there. People kept leaving because they couldn't handle the stress. And then I had one person who stuck it out. And then when I came back, she threw in the towel. So it's like kind of we go back to square one, but we also don't, because everything was written out and all the checklists and all the boxes and all the trainings and everything, it's all documented. So all we have to do is find the right personality types, the right people who are able to onboard using our DISC assessment and personality type assessment. And then we're able to put them right into a place where within 7 days, they feel like they're thriving. They feel like this is the best job ever. Number one, because we're paying them more than anybody's ever given them the confidence to say and to demand what they're worth. And number two, even though we have a lot of chaos within our organization, I mean, dude, that's what we are as real estate agents. We're chaos managers. Let's be real, right? So if we're sitting here managing all of the chaos, then why can't we manage all in someone else's life and transaction? Then why can't we get real and manage that and do all of that on our own? And that's where having clear goals and having everything spelled out right? Especially in time for tomorrow at 5 p.m., which is going to be a little challenging for some of y'all, but I know that we're going to make it happen, right? It's going to give you now the ability to be able to get really realistic, right? And instead of saying, okay, I want to sell 100 houses next year because I saw Joe said he sold 50 and he's going to double that number this year. I want to do that. Sounds really cool. But you've only sold 7 houses this year, or only sold 10, or only sold 20. Guys, I'm not here to pop your bubble. I'm just here to say, set yourself up to win. Make 50 your stretch goal. Okay, so make your goal 30. And then if you hit 30 by Q3, then know that you can sell another 20. It's possible. You can do it. And guess what? In Q3, we're going to have another run of the 90K in 90 days. And some of y'all are going to come back here. And some of y'all are going to say things like, dude, the last 90 days after the challenge were so crazy. I can't wait to do this again. Matter of fact, I have 3 or 4 more people who are joining with me because we're scaling. And some of y'all are going to come back here and some of y'all are going to be like, Joe, day 34, man, that task going to drop off donuts at the hospital, man, I couldn't do that, bro. I couldn't do it. So I failed out. And then what's going to end up happening is we're literally going to see comparison. And it was so amazing to see the comparison of the people who had finished and completed the first 90-day challenge and then implemented everything and continued doing it, which is really what pushed me to get the book typed out and published, because you now have really no reason. There's no reason at all to not be able to continue doing it, between the replays, between the book, between the challenge itself. And here's the coolest part. The second version of the book is going to have QR codes at the end of every single day. So you'll be able to go and you'll be able to just scan it and you'll be able to just like go right back to that day's video recording. Some of the video recordings are inconsistent over the last 2 challenges, which is why I'm using this 3rd challenge. So believe it or not, some of these videos are going to be watched by tons of people. The link to order the book is 90K in 90 days.biz, B-I-Z. So instead of .com, it's .biz. And here, I'll post it over here. 90K in 90 days.biz. Now, I thought it was really funny the other day. Someone had gone and someone had messaged me and someone asked me if there was a link to order all of my books. Okay, because on my Facebook profile, it says that I'm a 7 times published author. Okay, and what happens is sometimes when you do get out in front of people, people are going to look to discredit and disqualify you. Okay, some of y'all even have been on some Facebook threads where I've made certain posts where some people who ultimately end up blocking me, I don't block them, right? Ultimately, they're the ones who stop whatever they were doing and disappear and, you know, question certain things and ask certain things about the validity of certain claims. Well, clearly they haven't gone online or Googled my name, because everything is available online for purchase. Over the course of the next 90 days, I'm going to show you guys how you're going to publish your own book. Okay. On Amazon right now, I have a book and it's called How to Publish a Book on Amazon the Modern Day Way. It's a book of mine that I wrote, which I basically showed everybody how to do. I'm going to give you that book for free. And I'm also going to give you a template that is going to give you the ability to write your own book. In addition to writing your own book, you're also going to receive from us a manuscript that you'll be able to customize and use to publish another book called How to Buy or How to Sell a House the Modern Day Way. Is that the book link isn't working? 90k90days.biz. Let's take a look real quick. And let's see. Super strange. Thank you for letting me know. Let me grab the link itself. See, guys, having a backend support team and then having the team kind of not be here it's been a little overwhelming. One of the reasons, you see, we own the domain, but we haven't renewed the registration. So we have to go back. I have to go back and renew the registration for that website. But that's I just posted another link here. Ultimately, all of my links, they backlink to a website called jotform.com. Now, Jotform for me is a website that is very helpful because it's kind of like Samcart, which I've used in the past, but it also is very helpful for filling out long form responses and going in on having our goals clearly spelled out and going in on having, you know, everything really, really clearly itemized for us. Another big thing that we're going to be pushing here throughout the challenge is daily accountability. Okay. Now, I'm not going to be here kind of like a babysitter and say, hey guys, you didn't fill out your accountability form, right? Which, you know, between Nathan Kaplan and Todd Bailey, there's been a little bit of I wouldn't say an argument, but a difference of opinions, right? Todd says that we should do a form every day, and Nathan says we should do a form every couple of days. And the reason for that is because, you know, on the one hand, we do have a lot of things to do and a lot of things to check off. On the other hand, an accountability form, if there's 10 questions on it, right, it can take a couple of minutes to fill out. Personally, the reason why see, Todd goes again. I say every couple. Oh, so Todd says every couple of days. Todd's like, nah, man, every couple of days. Don't accuse me of that stuff. Don't accuse me of daily accountability. Give me every few days. So that being said, we'll put it up right now, for a vote, because, of those of us who are on here, we're missing a couple of people who are actually going to be on the challenge, but they've already messaged me, so that's cool. We're going to use here of the 17 of us that are on this call, in addition to myself, let's hop on in the chat real quick and let's take a vote. Do we want daily accountability sheets, or do we want tri-daily every 3 days an accountability sheet? And the reason I'm asking is because, okay, everybody's kind of like, yo, I am so overwhelmed with even the idea of daily accountability. Look at that. Everybody's like, no, we're not doing this. Okay, so here's what we'll do. Okay, we're going to do, okay, so Chris is daily. So Todd has a condition. Todd's conditions are, if there's 3 to 5 accountability questions, then it should be daily. And if there's anything more than 5 accountability questions, then it should be more than that. What do we think?
Only reason I say that is because 3 to 5 is very manageable, but in the past challenges, especially the very first one, as it was a learning experience and a scientific experiment, so to speak, some of those forms had like 15 or 16 questions, and it literally, for people like me who are ADD, and I want to make sure all my stuff is good, it took me like an hour to fill out one of those forms. So that's my condition. I'll yield the floor.
Hey, no, you know what? I appreciate that, guys. This is a mastermind, right? This isn't a dictatorship, which people call them, like, webinars or trainings or coach. Like, I value your feedback because I'm learning how to be awesome, okay, and stay awesome. So by taking other people's feedback, it allows me to adapt and implement to be able to really be good for everyone's personality type. So I think what we'll do is like this, okay? Natalie she still wants the try daily accountability sheet. So what we'll do is as follows. During the week, we'll have a maximum of 5 questions, okay? And those 5 questions won't be more than a 30-second response. Okay, so in total, it'll take between 3 and 5 minutes tops to fill out the sheet. The sheet will go out at 3 p.m. and will be due by 9 p.m. Fair? Awesome. So it will go out at 3 p.m. and it will be due by 9 p.m. That being said, on the weekends, okay, I will send out maybe a little bit longer of a sheet, which may take 10 to 15 minutes to respond, just so like that we have better, more relevant content for Sunday. Because if I'm going to have you sit on a 1-hour mastermind on Sunday to talk about the things that we've been struggling with throughout the week, the only way I can really take all that information is by collecting it from you between Friday and Saturday. Fair? Okay, awesome. Fantastic. Now, another thing I'm going to do, which we've changed a little bit from the last challenge, is I'm going to leave a link to an anonymous suggestion box that's going to sit in the description of the Facebook group. Okay, so if at any time there's something that you want to share, something that you need help with, okay, and you just want to put it in there and you don't want to put your name on it, that's totally cool. You just go in there and you just fill it out and we'll get a submission and we'll bring it up on the soonest call. That being said, let's run through this schedule one more time, okay? Because as you can see, in addition to having a calendar, in addition to having goals, in addition to having things put together in a way where they're realistic and possible for us to make happen, we also want to make sure that we're able to do this with consistency, okay? So consistency is extremely important. Obviously, we don't even have to jump into that, right? Because we all know, we've all heard, we've all listened, we've all even experienced it on our own. Every single morning, 7:30 a.m. to 7:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay? I understand that some of y'all have kids. I understand that some of y'all have other responsibilities, and I am going to rely on you to figure out a way to either delegate those responsibilities to other people or to still make it a point to show up. The reason I'm saying that is because the second that I turn around and I start saying, hey, this is cool, this is not cool, this is okay, this isn't okay, what ends up happening is, oh shit, sorry. Oh crap, Joe, I missed the call, or I forgot this, or what did you say about that, right? And it's not fair of me to put other people in a position where they can potentially mess up because of my leniency on certain things, right? One of my biggest real estate coaches, Jeff, one of the things he taught me that was very hard in the beginning was how you do one thing for one person is how you have to do one thing for everybody. It's the fairest, best way to make sure everything works. At the end of the day, right? If we're all going to battle and we're all going to fight against, you know, the big empty space of what exists right now in terms of free available market share, and we're all going to now battle other people for that market share, right? It won't be fair of me to tell everybody, hey, y'all can do this. Oh, wait, but you can cut corners here and you can cut corners here and you can cut corners there. It's not, I can't take responsibility for that, right? So 7:30 to 7:45 a.m. every single day. Now, I will tell you, 21 days into this challenge and 61 days into this challenge, we are going to have what's called the 30-day live video challenge. The 30-day live video challenge is going to put you on Facebook live stream every single day for 30 days. In order to make sure that you guys are confident, comfortable, and reliable and dependable and impactful when it comes to making those live videos, I myself am going to do a live video in a separate group every single morning at 7:47 a.m. So 2 minutes after the first live stream, I'm going to go live again for 5 minutes or less and record another live stream video together with slides and pointers and reference points. We're going to make it very easy, very simple. Okay, but that being said, I understand that after 7:45, some of y'all will not be available to watch that video right away, which is why we're going to send another email with a replay, which is why we're going to also post it and make it available in the group. Like that, you'll be able to go back and reference it. The first call you must be on. The second call, you do not have to be on, but here's the catch. Your live video has got to be live before 1 p.m. Okay? We'll talk about that when we get there. It will be part of the morning things that you do. Don't get nervous. Don't get overwhelmed. I'm just putting it out here now because I want to be fully transparent in terms of the schedule. Like that, you can't come back and say, Joe, I didn't know. Joe, this doesn't work. 7:30, 7:45 every single day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
My
Friday.
sister. Okay?
On who's that? Guys, we had a rule in the last challenge. If you come in the middle, then there's some serious accountability that we got to figure out. But we're not going to do it in this challenge. Just do me favors, make sure to try to stay muted. When it comes to so again, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 7:30 to 7:45 a.m. Saturday, we're not going to have any check-in call. The reason we're not going to have any check-in call is to give you the time to spend with your family, to give you the time to appreciate all of your hard work throughout the week. Okay, so I don't want to be here for 7 days a week talking your ear off from 7:30 a.m. Saturday, no call at all. I may randomly go live in the group, may randomly share something, may randomly put out there, but there are still going to be tasks. The task of the day today on Saturdays will always be record a video and send it to lender partners to let them know that you're still here working if they have a lead that needs to go see a house today. Whoa, yeah, buddy. This is free game when it comes to reaching out to lenders. When you send a video to a lender at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, the same way you send out your birthday videos, which we'll talk about birthday videos as we move along in the challenge, but I send out a birthday video every single day to somebody who's connected with me on Facebook that has a birthday. And the video goes something like, hey there, just wanted to let you know. Well, no, hang on. Let me get into that zone real quick. Hey, happy birthday. Hope you're having a phenomenal day filled with love, laughter, family, and I hope all your dreams come true. If there's anything I can do to be of help, let me know. As always, make it a great day, right? That's the video I send out. I don't send it out. The angels send it out. It's pre-recorded and they send it every single day. I make a very similar video to lenders and I go, hey, just wanted to let you know that if your reliable real estate agent is not available today to help any of your clients, hit me up. We're ready to go within 30 minutes. Make it a great one, right? And then I'll go to real estate agents, other real estate agents, and I'll say, hey, happy holiday weekend. Hope you're doing awesome. If any of your buyers or sellers need somebody to meet them within the next 30 minutes or so and you're not available, hit me up. We can always make it happen. And then I go to buyers. Hey, guys, if you haven't had it, if you've seen a house that came up on the market today or yesterday that you want to go see, let me know. We can probably make it happen in the next 30 minutes. Talk to you soon, right? That's going to be the challenge for the video, for the weekends. Don't worry, guys. See, I'm doing this right now because I do this all the time, but we have scripts. Make it very easy for you, okay? Very, very easy. Everything I show you, I'll show you how to do. We have 3 more minutes left to this call. In these next 3 minutes, what I want to do is I want to remind you that as you monitor your progress, okay, and as you track yourself through going through these things, there are going to be times where you're going to feel like you're letting yourself down. And what I want to remind you is that if you ever feel like you're letting yourself down, you're not doing enough, you're not in this space, I need you to go online. I need you to Google your competitor. I need you to Google that one person that's your arch nemesis, that person in high school who bullied you, okay? That person, that ex, that one person, whatever it is. Go and look them up. Because in the wise words of one of my dear friends, Rihanna, she says, I've never met an ex who's doing better than me. It's a reality. It's a fact. And that's in business. That's in personal life. That's in past experiences. That's in partnerships. That's everywhere. Because when people come and people, especially who used to work for me, who didn't like anything that we did or anything that we carried or whatever it was, and then they turn around and they leave. And then they try to take everything we built. And then they try to do everything we're doing again, right? And then they walk away. You know what? I laugh. You know why I laugh? Because that person's no longer a competition. That person is stuck in the 2021 version of me. So let them have the 2021 version of me, because right now we're walking into 2024, which means if in 2021 I wanted to sell 10 houses, right? And I sold like what, 33 or whatever it was, right? And then 2020, no, it was 13. It was 13 houses 2021, right? And then 2022, I did 33, triple the business. The person who took all of my ideas and all of the events and all of the stuff, we did the Healthcare Heroes program, someone ripped it off. You know, the Healthcare Heroes program, they had no idea what it was. It ended up costing them a bunch of money because they promised free appraisals and they promised discounts and they promised funding lender fees. We didn't do any of that. We just created an entity called the Healthcare Heroes program, which means that we are available at any time to help doctors, nurses, and first responders go and see houses and make them available and put them in touch with the right lenders. That's it. No promises on credits, no promises on fees, no promises on funding, because I'm not giving away any of my hard-earned money to somebody who can barely appreciate and respect me and wants to go see a house at 9 o'clock at night. Yeah, I'll go show it to them because that's my unique selling proposition, that I'm available at any time and I can help you. But I'm not gonna, like, after you're giving me the opportunity now to help you, you know, I'm now going to also give you my money to pay you for working with me. It's your like luck, and you're blessed to be working with someone like me because I never fumble deals, right? Like all these different confidence pieces that we have for ourselves. So that being said, as we're going to hop off on this call, I'm going to download this recording. I'm going to email it out. I'm also going to send a link for you to go and watch the replay to the goal building sheet if you wanted to go do that, as well as the link to download that sheet, or if I have a PDF, I'll just include it there in the email. That being said, I'm going to work my way through the Facebook group right now. We're going to clean all that up by 8 o'clock p.m. Everything will be organized and ready to go. If you have any questions or if there's anything else that I can do to be of help to you in any way, shape, or form, y'all know where to find me. Do me one favor. Write down this phone number. This phone number is 929-842-30. Okay, that's my cell phone number. So I'm giving you my cell phone number right now. What I'm going to ask you to do is, if you're going to message me, please do so on WhatsApp over the next 2 or 3 days. WhatsApp is the best way to get in touch with me at the moment, because my text messages at the moment are 929-842-3080. It's the same phone number that I put out there online. And the reason why I'm giving you this number is because if you feel overwhelmed, or if you're not sure, or if you have questions throughout this challenge, you can hit me up on this number. My text messages at the moment are being monitored by the Angels, so I wouldn't recommend you texting there. WhatsApp me. It's the best way to get in touch with me. That being said, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow at 5 o'clock p.m. Those of you who need to fill out the goals, let's do it by then, because we're going to be jumping into a little bit of systems and processes then. And then Monday morning, 7:30 a.m., the moment you've been waiting for. We're going to kick it off and we're going to make it awesome. I'm really excited to seeing you. Anything else that you need from me, you know where to find me. Let's make it a great weekend.